dear mummy, I want you to know this should have probably been face to face. Hope you can hear me. So this video is gonna be hella sensitive, okay? It's gonna be very sensitive because it's gonna be about my mom and the relationship with my mom. Now I want to first say that I'm going to treat this subject, I'm going to treat this subject very sensitively because I don't want to disrespect anybody, I don't want to hurt anybody. I just want to be very mindful of how I approach this. And give a fair representation of my relationship with my mother. So yes, I don't want it to be a thing where I'm just, you know, disrespecting and just calling her out of her name or anything like that, or calling her this, calling her that. I want it to be a reflective of how I felt in the past, like God knows how long. I also want it to be a true reflection of the pain that it's caused me, the trauma that I've had in the time that I guess we haven't had like the best relationship. I want it to be very respectful. Like I said, I want it to come out of a place of love. But also a place where it's true to how I feel, it's true to my reality of what has happened in my life. So the next video, I literally came off a phone call with my mom and it just broke me. It literally just broke me because the past like months, whilst like before I was getting ready to like leave the UK and stuff like that, it was very difficult for me. I lost sense of who I was, so everything and anything would have set me off. But yeah, that conversation I had with my mom really affected me. But anyway, this video is about that. I just want to say that it's a very sensitive, very sensitive topic. It's very vulnerable for me, so bear with me. It's very emotional. I don't really out of respect for the whole situation, I will not get in too much depth of certain things about the relationship with my mom. I want to express how it's made me feel. I want to be able to express how hard and challenging it has been for me. Because we learn to suppress our emotions and our feelings when it comes to family, especially parents. But anyway, I'm not going to say enjoy this video because there's nothing to enjoy, but watch this video and I'll see you guys in a bit. I'm really trying so hard. Like, I'm trying so hard to not crash out. I'm trying so hard to keep going. I'm trying so hard to remain positive. I'm trying so hard to put myself first. You put me in a predicament where I had to pick up your slack. I had to pick up your slack as well as trying to figure out my life.
You know, I went out my way to help you and put myself behind on so many occasions. But you feel it's okay to call me. I haven't spoken to you in a few days. To call me, to shout at me about things that I don't need to be told off about. I'm a grown woman. I'm 30 years old and you're still talking to me as if I'm a child. I did the best I could. I literally did the best I could with the time I had. And doing all of that whilst working 12-hour shifts. One week I did 88 hours and I still helped, but that's still not been seen. 88 hours of my work and I still helped you and I still getting shouted at. When the people you should be telling off is the people that don't fucking do anything for you. But yeah, I'm the bad guy yet again. Having a conversation and you hanging up on me. I do nothing but help these people. I do nothing but listen to these people. But yet they have the audacity to hang up on me. I've tried to put everything that you put me through, and you still put me through it till this day. I tried to put it on the side because you're the only one I have left. But you're not making this easy.
Hi. I really hope you can hear me. So I'll talk loudly. So yeah, that was a hard watch. Like I was. Oh, there's a lot of sunflies here. What's going on? Oh wait. Yeah, that was a hard watch because I watching that video made me constantly think of the little girl that's been heartbroken. And like I said, I want to give this a true representation of my life and my experience of the relationship with my mom. I don't want to come across as disrespectful. I don't want it to come across as like I'm throwing anyone under the bus or I'm just looking for attention. This is not for attention. This is, hey, I see you, little girl. I see you crying. I see you hurting. You will get through this. But yeah, like, where do I start with this relationship with my mom? I always believed that the relationship started to become a problem when my mom had my younger siblings. I was 11 years old. I was the last, I was the baby, and then 11 years later, my mom decided not to have one but two. And I felt like, I guess, the middle child syndrome, you know? And it was difficult because I always believed, even till this day, I always believed my mom's favorite child was always my older brother. She'll deny it, but I strongly believe that was her favorite. And now, not only that she has one but two new babies, like all the attention was there, I didn't get the attention. Granted, I was able to go to two trips, one in primary school, one in secondary school, but I still felt like the missing child. I felt like I didn't have my parents. At this point, we moved to England and my dad wasn't around. It was just my mom. You know, I felt like I was never good enough, no matter what I did, no matter how many achievements I came home with, I was just never good enough. So I think that's when it truly started. And then I think what set it off with the relationship with my mom, I'm skipping a lot of years and stuff like that because I'm just trying to focus on the things that, now looking back, were the things that really affected our relationship. So fast forward to when I was 16, we had this family friend I knew when I was a child in St. Lucia. I had like bogies run down my nose and I knew him and everything. So I'd just come out of secondary school. And it was summertime, so it was 2011 summertime, And this family friend needed a babysitter, but a stay-at-home babysitter for his little daughter. So now we've known him for ages. So my mom said, yeah, why don't you go do it for the summer, make some money before you go off to college and stuff. I was like, okay, cool, not a problem. Now this man, clearly still a hard topic. So yeah, so we were living, I think at this point we just moved. Did we move to Essex yet? I can't remember. I don't know if we were in London or we had moved to Essex. Anyway, he was living in like past Croydon, Crawley somewhere, that area. So South London basically. So he came to pick me up. Did he come to pick me up? No, I took the train down. No, sorry. I can't remember if I took the train down and he picked me up. But anyway, before we went to the house, he must have taken me to the shop and he was like, oh, you can choose whatever you want. Mind you, I've known this man since I was a child, okay? I'm only 16 at this point. And in these things, you don't see it as grooming, but now looking back at the situation, it is. So yeah, so he took me shopping, blah blah blah. He made me pay for it with his card. He was like, don't tell his wife. And then I started feeling a little uneasy because I was just like, what do you mean don't tell your wife? Like what, like are you hiding something from her? Anyway, we got to the house now. I was only there for the weekend. We got to the house. And basically he touched me up inappropriately on 2 occasions. Once in the house and once when he was dropping me back to the train station. And honestly, I felt so numb in both situations. I felt so numb. I felt like I couldn't tell anyone. Me and my mom had a struggling relationship at that point. I felt like my innocence was taken. Granted, it didn't go that way. It didn't go fully to that extent. But I honestly felt like somebody I knew for so long, for so many years, someone that saw me as a child, felt that he felt that comfortable that he could have, you know, abused his power as somebody that's older than me. And I think what scared me the most was that he had a little daughter, and I was just like, that's crazy. Like, you've got a whole little daughter, a whole child, and this is how you're treating someone else's daughter. Anyway, I must have gotten home and everything. I messaged him saying, hey, I know you know what you did. I don't want to have any conversation with you anymore. I don't want to see you, blah blah blah. And I left it like that. I didn't tell my mom. He must have driven all, we were in Essex at that point, because he drove all the way home to Essex, and I was upstairs in my room. He must have spoken to my mom downstairs, and my mom said, yeah, she's upstairs. So he came upstairs. He tried to he was like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about, blah 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 blah, whatnot. And then he tried to hug it out, and I was just like, I don't want to hug you, can you get out of my room? He was like, we have like a fist bump? I was like, I don't want to fist bump, can you get out of my room? Eventually he left the room and stuff, and then my mom came upstairs, and she was like, why didn't you tell me what happened? You know, you should have told me what happened, blah blah blah. Almost like angry that I didn't come to her, but you never built a safe space that I could ever come and talk to you, so it was a very difficult. Okay, so that happened. I left home, so that happened when I was 16. I left home when I was 19. That was a massive strain on my relationships, because I didn't heal from it. Eventually 2015, so 4 years later, I must have gone to church and asked God for forgiveness for everything. I called my mom up and I said to her, you know, I forgive you for the situation because you didn't protect me. 1, 2, you're still friends with this person. I asked her for his number. I called him up on private number. And I said, hey, this is not a conversation. This is just to let you know I've asked God to help me forgive you. sorry if I'm just like rushing through this. I didn't realize it would have been still a sore topic for me. I don't want to take away the pain that's caused me, because it caused me years of pain. Still now, it's very traumatic. But yeah, sorry. So yeah, he still denied it. He still said, you know, he didn't touch me inappropriately on the 2 occasions. So I think at that point he had another daughter. So I said, I just pray that no one does anything to your daughter, that you, and no one attacks your daughters the way you attacked me. And then yeah, ended the conversation. That was it. Never spoke to him again. And then the last person I needed to forgive was myself. I needed to forgive myself. So the purpose of this story, right, is obviously we're still talking about my mom. The woman that's meant to protect you, the woman that's meant to be your first contact when anything happens, you run to. If something happens, if you fall over, you run to your mom. If someone calls your name, you run to your mom. If you have a good grade, you run to your mom, because that's your first personal contact for most people. So yeah, 2015, forgave everybody. I felt a bit better. I still found out that she was still friends with him, but I was in a better space. I was just like, clearly your priorities aren't in order, but it is what it is. Then lockdown happened, 2020, 2020. I must have had a conversation with one of my siblings, and it was a hard conversation because I was really emotional. A lot was happening, and this sibling said to me, by the way, you know, mommy blames you for what happened to you. So I was like, what do you mean? She blames you for what happened with person's name. And I was like, what? That just broke down. That just made me break down. Literally, I just broke down, because I was like, what do you mean she blames me? She was like, this person was like, she basically said, oh, because I was asking him for money and asking him for this and that. So I stopped the person there, and then I was just like, regardless of if I was asking this man for money, which I wasn't, that doesn't give him the right to touch me the way he did, abuse me the way he did, took away, sorry, these flies are all over the guy. Do what he did to me. Like, that doesn't give him any right. Like, it doesn't. Like, are you, for you as a mom, for you as a parent, for you as a woman, to tell one of your children this about your daughter, that's wild to me. That's crazy. That broke me. I ended up going into therapy during COVID. I was having a hard time. And during therapy, the year later, I received a text from another sibling. And this text was kind of upsetting. It was something about, it didn't really make sense, but it was something about, oh, mommy asked me to speak to you because you got raped or something like that. I was like, what? So I just come out of therapy. So it was on Zoom. Just come out of therapy. I was walking in Victoria Park, trying to clear my head, because if you've done therapy, you know it's not an easy thing to do. So yes, I was trying to clear my head and everything. And then I got that text, and it threw me off. It threw me off. So I called this sibling, and I was just speaking to this sibling. And then we were trying to understand, like, why would my mom say that? Like, why was that a topic anyway? So we were speaking about the whole thing, and then the sibling brought up saying, by the way, mommy said it was right for it to happen to you, what that guy did to you. I was like, what? Sibling goes, mommy said it was right for it to happen to you. After it took me many years to forgive my mom, and then having to relive this whole situation, it took me many years to forgive myself, many years to learn to love my body, many years. Like, I never loved my body. I felt disgusted, you know. And now to come to think, the very first person that's meant to protect you, meant to have your back and everything, is blaming you and saying that it's right for it to happen to you. what this predator did to me, a 16-year-old child. I couldn't wrap my head around it. That was I think that was my first ever panic attack. Like, I was walking back home and I was still on the phone with my sibling. And yeah, that was that was my first ever panic attack. And I thought I lost it. I thought that was it. That was the end of life. No word of a lie. I thought that was the end of life. And it broke me. Because this happened in 2020 or 2021, and me and my mom never had the conversation, but I still had to see her pretend that, you know, life is all great, me and her are great. We never had that conversation, and that was eating me alive, literally eating me alive. Only New Year's just gone, New Year's 2024, New Year's Eve 2024, so just gone, I was finally able to have that conversation with my mom. That conversation was very difficult. It was about everything, literally everything. But there was a lot of denial, there was a lot of manipulation, there was a lot of gaslighting, there was a lot of victim blaming, there was a lot of no acknowledgement at all. Literally no acknowledgement. And it broke me because I always said one of the reasons why I didn't want to have a conversation with my mom, was one, that conversation would end up either my mom going crazy, me and her never having a relationship again, or hope that we build something, you know. But after that conversation, New Year's Eve, I was done. I was absolutely done, because I was 30 years old, and coming to you crying, sitting on your bed crying, literally crying my eyes out, hurting so bad, and you can't acknowledge me, you can't hug me, you can't hold me, you can't sit here and be like, I'm sorry, you know. And I've seen so many videos, so many posts saying, oh, you have to forgive your parents because this is their first time living. This is my first time living too, bro. Like, she has 30 years on me. My maths might be wrong there. But she has years on me. I'm new to this just like she's new to this. You know, I'm new to this technology just like she's new to this technology. I wasn't here to know what's happening. Like, this is all new to me. And I'm hearing like, oh, you know, they're only doing with what they have. No one showed them how to love properly. No one showed them how to be a good parent. No one showed me how to love properly. Granted, I'm a mother, but no one showed me how to love properly. I don't have one good example in my life that has shown me how to love properly on both sides of the family. It's a massive struggle. I'm literally the only one that goes around telling people I love them in my family. And I make it a habit. After losing my dad, I make it a habit to tell people I love you. You know, none of my family are capable of doing it. I learnt it myself. Anyway, I don't want to get off topic or get too angry and stuff like that. But my mom and I's relationship has always really struggled because I feel like I was never good enough. Even like most recently, I came across like school reports from when I was in St. Lucia. So this is going back, what, 3, 4, 5, 6 years old. And one of my teachers must have put, oh, she did really, really well in school. I think I had like A's and 1 B or something like that. So I did really well for 3, 4, 5-year-old, however old I was. And so the teacher and the parent writes in that report book. So the teacher wrote that she did really well. My mom wrote, you could do better. I expect better. And I'm just like, so my entire life in England, I've always said, England changed my mom. This is not the woman I remember growing up with. Now looking back at those books and those comments that she made, my mom's always been like that. I've never been good enough. No matter how many good grades I bring into the house, no matter how medals and trophies I bring into the house, I've just never been good enough. and it's been a constant thing. My mom has never in her entire life said to me, looked me in my eyes and said, I am proud of you. Never. I used to bring home medals and trophies. Not good enough. Literally not good enough. When I decided to become a sports massage therapist, right, I was the first one to be self-employed. I had my own little business, doing very, very well, quite successful. My mom looked me in my eyes and said, so when are you going to get a real job? But wanted free massages and stuff, not just for herself. So I was just never good enough. Maybe that's why I over-explain myself and I try to justify my reasons, because it's like, I want to be heard, I want to be seen. Like, who doesn't want to be heard and seen? Like, who doesn't? So yeah, I just feel like I was just never good enough with my mom. I feel like I was never good enough. I felt like she never protected me. That was one situation she didn't protect me. There was another situation, which is quite recent, I can't speak on that one, that she put me in a predicament, and I'm like, you failed me as a child, you're failing me again as a grown up. It's just never good enough. It's just never ever good enough. It's always, you could do better. And someone said to me, oh, do you think because they know you can do better, and that's not how you treat people. That's not. Because if it's always you could do better every single day of your life and never well done, it's hard. But like I said, granted, I'm not a parent, so I don't know what it's like to be a parent. I don't know how complicated it is, or anything like that. All I know is how I felt. All I know is how I feel, and how I've been feeling for the past, God knows how long, of my life. I'm so sorry this video is long. I try to keep it respectful. I try to make sure that, I didn't call anyone out their names. I try to keep it how everything made me feel. Because at the end of the day, I could only tell my story. And granted, there's 3 sides to every story, but I could only share my story. And like I said, I'm not doing this for a show. I'm not doing this because I want people to feel sorry for me. I'm doing this because I want to speak in a Caribbean household, maybe in a black household. When something bad happens, we just brush it underneath the carpet, and then we play a happy family, and that's it. No one talks about anything. Everyone has secrets. You can't talk to therapists about your family problems. You can't talk to anyone about your family problem. You can't share this with. So I have to suffer alone. Literally suffer. I can't suffer anymore. Like, I honestly believe there's some curse on me, because I've held on to so much shit, excuse my friend, so much crap I've held on to for so long. I feel like I need to release myself of something. But can we just but yeah. My name is Kathleen, also known as Andrea. I don't think I've ever been good enough for my mom. She might have hated the relationship I had with my dad because of how my dad treated her. She might have felt a certain type of way, but I was never good enough for my mom. There was a lot of manipulation, there was a lot of gaslighting, there's a lot of victim playing. I think the one that hurts me the most is, I don't know who my mom is, and she definitely don't know who I am. And it's sad because I'm an amazing person. I grew up to be an amazing woman. By myself. Literally by myself. everything that I've achieved in my life was my doing. And I know at some point you can't blame your parents for your actions anymore because you're an adult. But if you never had a foundation, how the hell does one start? Maybe this is my starting. Is that a muscle? Maybe this is me starting. Who knows? Who knows? But I like to finish this off and get real personal. I hope you can hear me. I hope you can see me. Dear mom, dear mommy, I want you to know this should have probably been face to face, but it's very difficult to have a conversation with you. I want you to know this is not an attack. I want you to know this is maybe a long cry for help for many years. I want you to know that I love you. I want you to know that I'm very proud of how far you've come. I want you to know that I admire how resilient you have been, looking after 4 kids on your own in a foreign country. I want you to know that I don't hate you. I don't despise you. I don't wish ill upon you. I just want you to know that I have been hurt. I am hurting. I'm still hurting. I wish we had a better relationship. I wish you could see me in the amazing light that I am. I wish you were able to just hear me, without feeling like I'm attacking you. I want you to be able to hear me without thinking that this is me attacking you, because it's not. I love you very much. I never loved my dad more than I loved you. That was never a thing. What the hell, bro? I'm sorry if I wasn't the daughter that you wanted. I'm sorry if I wasn't the child that you wanted. But no matter what, I will love you, even if it's love from a distance. I just want you to know. Sorry, these flies are on my head. I just want you to know that no matter what, I will always love you, and I will always wish the best for you. Hi. So this is a continuation of my relationship with my mom. Hang on a second. Sorry, I felt like I was too far. Excuse the background noise. Please bear with me, because it's still a very sensitive, ongoing, current situation. So as I was saying in my previous video, that I really tried to keep my relationship with my mom as respectful as possible, but still honoring how I felt. And this video was taken, not the one of me crying, but the video after that was taken literally yesterday, enjoying the peace, enjoying the freedom of just being by the beach. And you know, I had no hard feelings, no hatred, no
yeah, no hard feelings, no hatred. Like I said, please bear with me. I don't want to do this for show. I don't want to do this for views. I don't want to do this for anything but the sole purpose of just documenting how this is really impacting me, how this is really affecting me. I'm sorry if I keep saying I'm sorry if I keep stopping, I'm sorry if I'm losing track of thought. This is very difficult. So anyway, to the video, you know, bearing in mind of my mom, bearing in mind of her feelings, bearing in mind of just everything. So yeah, so to the video, didn't think much of it, haven't posted it. Today's the day I'm posting it. And then I came home to an upsetting text. Now I still don't know if I'm going to show the text or not. If I do, and this was unprovoked. Like I said, since I left the country, I haven't heard from her. I haven't spoken to her. It was only August the 13th I had to reach out because she had an upsetting conversation with one of my aunties. One of my aunties, she had a conversation and she dragged someone's name in that conversation with my aunt, and I didn't really appreciate it. So I just sent a message saying, hey, you know, I'm doing well, I'm focusing on me as I always do, I hope you're alright. She responded back the next day, and that was the last that I heard from my mom or of my mom. I didn't hear from her again. I didn't speak to her again, not because I was angry or pissed off. It was just, I was just focusing on myself. But yeah, I opened my phone and I saw a message from her. Opened the chat. Before you even open the chat, you could already see what the message says, right? Well, the first part of it. And I was a bit confused because I was just like, where's this coming from? You know, where is this actually coming from? And then I'm like, did I say anything to anyone that could warrant that action? But then I'm just like, even if I said something to warrant that action, I'm still meant to be the person God gave to you. I'm still meant to be God's daughter that He blessed you with. I'm still meant to be your daughter. I'm still meant to be somebody that, you know, you need to protect and look after. I'm not saying that I'm a perfect daughter. I'm not a perfect person. I haven't always been a perfect daughter. But I've always tried my best to be as respectful as I can of our situation. I've always tried my best to put my feelings aside to protect yours. And I don't know if you'll ever see this message, this video. I'm trying to keep it control. I'm trying to keep it composed. But this really hit me. It really hit me. I didn't expect it to hit me as much as it did. I think I was more in like shock than at first, because it was just like, we haven't spoken in so long. Like, where's this coming from? Like, who have you been speaking to? Or what has changed in, granted, nearly a month for you to flip the switch on me? Mind you, instead of having conversations with me, you're having conversations about me to everybody else. And I've never flipped, I've never switched. I just took it on the chin and carried on, you know. I haven't disrespected you. I just, and I said I'll take it to God, because only God could get me through this, right? The last time I had like I guess some sort of like screaming battle, argument, frustration. Like prayer with God was when I first left the UK, and losing the fact that I lost my dad was hit me harder than even I ever thought, right? And I was just talking to him like, what the hell, like, you know, you've taken everything away from me, like what more are you gonna take away from me? Is there something I need to do? And I know I need to have that kind of conversation again about my mom, but I'm so numb. Like, I'm so numb. I was meant to have it last night, it didn't happen. I tried to have it a minute ago, it just wasn't coming out. And it's like, I'm just so numb. This relationship has drained everything. Literally everything out of me. By the way, if I'm fiddling and, you know, smiling, this is my way of coping with all of this. Otherwise I'll be bawling my eyes out, and I'm trying not to cry. You know, I'm trying to, I don't even know what I'm trying to do anymore. But yet this was just a continuation. I might do another part in regards to this topic. But yeah, this was just, I thought I needed to add this because this is very brand new. This is raw. This is, it's just crazy how I literally went out my way to protect the name, protect your integrity as best as I can. You know, as best as I can. To come not on the same day to that text. Like, how have I wronged you so much? But anyway. All I can do is pray for the situation now, because me personally, I can't do anything about the situation. Like, it's what, after 2 in the afternoon, I haven't eaten a thing. But thanks for watching, thanks for being patient with me. Like I said, this was hard. This is hard. It is very, very hard. But yeah.